about takeaways from this session. We'll talk a little bit about the strategy and we'll really dive into what are the things that you can do, and we'll have a couple exercises around how you can create that business for yourself. But first, I want you to know this is an affirmation for you, but it's also something that I truly deeply believe. It is possible for me to make money from my art. And I want you to know that it's possible for you. It's possible for anyone. If you want it, you have your goal, you have your strategy, you take consistent steps toward it, there's nothing that you can't do. And second, there's a lot of paths that I can take to succeed. And so if you want to take a moment to repeat those to yourselves, there's a lot of paths that I can take to succeed, and it is possible for me. So why do these work? Why are these important? And why is this the way that we're starting the session? So you've probably seen a lot of things about manifestation. And the science behind saying things like this is your brain is very good at filtering your experience. And so if we think about this from, we're writers, the character perspective, when we write most vividly, we're writing in our character's frame of mind, and the details that they notice in particular is going to inform how your readers are interpreting what the character's feeling. So if the character walks into a room and is like, oh, the curtains are gray, I feel that, I'm really struggling, you do that yourself as a character in your own life. You see something small that happens to you that is really, really amazing. And if you're having a good day already, that small thing is just magnified by the amount of joy that you're feeling. Likewise, if you had a rough start to the day, you have so many things going on, you're feeling extremely overwhelmed. The next little thing may be the straw that breaks the camel's back, to use that type of cliche. And so when you surround yourself and you start to think these thoughts and you start to think them over and over again and look for deliberate proof that they are true, when you start to think about, oh, it was possible for me to do this, right? I achieved so many things in this previous career that I had. I achieved so many things so far this year. And I'm looking at all of those as proof that it is possible for me. When you start looking for that proof, you find more and more, because that is what your mind patterns, you're generating stronger mind patterns. So the next time you start slipping into, oh, everything is horrible today, you can consciously realize I've created a lot of paths in my brain that are actually based on joy and based on excitement and based on possibility. And so those are things that I can carry with me. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about goals. So goals are really important. The only way that we hit them, though, is if we know them. So oftentimes we're going along, we have ideas, we have plans, we have thoughts. I want to be a New York Times bestselling author. I want to travel to this country that I've never been before. I want to do all of these things with my life. I want to adopt a dog or a cat. But we don't have a goal around that. And so the only way that we'll be able to hit the goal is if we first define it for ourselves. And we say, this is the thing that I want. Because if you don't know and you don't have a guiding thing or something that you're working toward, you will do a lot of things, but you will do things based on maybe how you're feeling or what you're thinking, or in the current moment, I have these options, I'm going to choose between these options, right? So I'm going to take a quick peek at the chat. It's possible for me. Thank you for adding those to the chat, Salima. Appreciate that. So how do we hit our goals? How do we define our goals? We're going to talk a little bit about 3PG. So what is 3PG? The core is that it's all about you. Again, when we talk about there are as many ways to succeed as there are people, there are as many ways to succeed as there are people. And so when it comes to you need to think about what you actually want. So oftentimes we hear a lot of shoulds. People will say, you should do this. Oh, this is really, why are you thinking about this? You really should be doing this. You should be thinking this. You should be right. And those are very limiting, and they're very based on other people's sometimes well-intentioned, sometimes not well-intentioned thoughts and feelings and beliefs. And so we're going to be thinking about what your goals are, what your passions are, the problems that you want to solve, and the preferences that you have to get you there. So, in other words, it's what you want. Again, because there's so many different tactics that you can try, this is just one way to start figuring that out.